Okay, and welcome back, everybody. This is the First Inning Radio Show, and we're live on television, radio, and YouTube, and television.com simultaneously. Um, we are the First Inning, and we go live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. on television.com. Go check that out, free of charge, no sign up, just press play on the little radio. And I am the BX Bomber 2011, along with Roger, the big Yankee fan. Say hello, Roger.
Hello, good evening, BX Bomber. Things are going pretty good. And the Yankees once again had another rainout tonight, second night in a row. And the weather has
Yeah,
been
man.
pretty rough up there.
Rain
A
delay.
lot of rain in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast area so far this spring.
Yeah, man. Well, Monday, that's game one against Baltimore on what's that, May the 13th. Yeah,
Yeah,
and well, that day, it rained very hard during the day. During the daytime, it was pouring, man. I don't know, how did it rain in West Virginia? Did you get a lot of rain, like
yeah, we
torrential
did.
rain?
It was a very rainy day in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. But I think you might have had a bit heavier rain there, actually.
Yeah, we
And
did.
uh,
Yeah,
and what
I was
happened
just
was
soaking too.
Yeah, yeah. And what happened is they felt that it was cold and that the field had absorbed a lot of water, and they canceled the game last night after waiting over 2 hours, and then canceled the game. And the weather was miserable, and you're having rain up there again tonight. We have
Yeah.
some blue skies down here this evening, but it's chilly. It's not as chilly as it is there, but we have a little bit of wind, and it's in the lower 50s, and you're in the upper 40s there.
Well, let me tell you, man. Monday's game. When I was there, there was a puddle on the tarp itself. You know, and
Right.
what happened was when they pulled the tarp off. I don't think they really pulled it off the right way or something like that to drain all the water towards the left field foul line. You
Mhm.
know, so I think what happened was when they pulled the tarp, it was so much water, it just stood there. Normally it all drains out, on the warning track there. I guess
Right.
they I guess they couldn't get that to happen or something. But so what happened was it stopped raining, right? And it was windy, yeah. But there was a giant lake behind shortstop. And
Right.
it was in the outfield. It's between the field of the dirt of the diamond and, let's say, the left field outfielder somewhere.
Right.
It's in the middle of that, and there's a giant puddle there. And they did their best to dry it up, and they did dry it up. But I guess there was too much water, and they called it. It wasn't draining fast enough.
Yes. Yes. They felt that the umpires were out there checking it out, and then they were talking with management and MLB baseball, and they waited quite a while, and then they finally called the game at 8:48. And rather than
Yeah.
do that tonight, the weather tonight was also scheduled to be rather rainy, so they called it early rather than have the fans come out there and sit there in crummy weather.
Well, this is what I saw, and you're gonna see it in the vlog. This is what I saw, and when they took off the tarp and they started fixing the field, I seen Aaron Boone walk out past the second base in the grass. Behind second base in the grass, and
Right,
he said something to the ground crew guy. And then after he said something to the ground crew guy, they all started working on that big puddle that I mentioned earlier, right? So
right,
then after that meeting with the ground crew guy, um, he left, and um, then conjugating on the other side on the visiting dugout was the manager of the Baltimore Orioles and the umpires.
yeah.
It's ankle deep water, so yeah, it was pretty much like a landfill over there. You know, with all
right.
the so much water they had. But
Right. It was a case of it just being too saturated.
yeah, exactly. And they tried their best and they had these machines. They brought out this machine that was like, I guess, sucking up the water. They brought out these leaf blowers and they were trying to blow out the water. You also had guys with pitchforks and they were pitchforking the ground and trying to elevate the dirt to make the
Right.
water drain. And I guess it wasn't working, man. And they had to call the game.
Right. It was just simply too saturated, and we have had a lot of rain this spring. And as we were talking about, and we did our show on climate change, I follow Dr. Michael Mann,
Yeah.
who is a esteemed scientist working out of Penn State University, and I follow and study the science and follow Dr. Michael Mann and what has been happening with the loss of Arctic sea ice in the Arctic. We are having oscillations in the jet stream, meaning the jet stream is becoming very wavy, allowing different weather patterns to come down into the continental United States. And what has been happening with this pattern that we've been in for quite a while is that it has been extreme droughts out in California with a lot of wildfires, and the East Coast has been getting hit with a rather large amount of moisture and a large amount of rain. And we still seem to be in that pattern as of right now. And the Yankees have had some really crummy weather so far this spring. I mean, each one of the blogs that you go to, it's either cloudy or rainy, and it's rare to have a nice day.
I think I only had one sunny day. No, I had two sunny days. The day I caught the ball and the day before that one, I had to take my sweater off actually, and I was in batting practice in just my jersey. You know.
And also the games that we were at were decent as well.
Yeah, they were
Uh,
okay. They were okay. I mean, they were a little cold, but not as bad as this night was with the rain just passed with Baltimore and the previous days too.
exactly, exactly. And so that's what's been happening with the weather. So you'll be getting to a doubleheader tomorrow, and
Yep.
the first game starts at 3 in the afternoon. The weather's supposed to be decent tomorrow, and you'll be getting there sometime around a little after 4 in the afternoon after you get off the train from school, and then you'll have that game and the regularly scheduled game. So you'll have parts of two games to check out tomorrow.
And you
And as
already
far
know what that vlog is gonna be called, right?
that's going to be called the doubleheader.
Oh yeah.
The doubleheader, exactly. And we have a little bit of Yankee news going on as well that
Okay.
we could discuss here. And this is a little bit of rough news, basically. The Yankees third baseman Miguel Andujar set to decide on potential shoulder surgery after latest MRI, and he may be facing shoulder surgery. And I'll read a little bit of this article. The Yankees placed Miguel Andujar back on the injured list with his lingering shoulder issue Monday. The Yankees manager Aaron Boone said Tuesday an MRI once again revealed a small labrum tear. The third baseman will make a decision in the next day or so whether he will undergo surgery or attempt to rehab the injury once again without landing on the operating table. Boone said Andujar has been encouraged to discuss his next step with his family. Andujar's first labrum tear didn't quite heal as everyone hoped after he missed 28 games from April 1st to May 3rd, and the 24-year-old struggled mightily following his return. So that is the situation with Andujar, and so he may have to decide whether he's going to be getting labrum surgery or not as of right now. And that is the situation now. So he is back on the disabled list. And I think if he's going to get it done, I think he should do it soon. So that way he'll be ready for next season.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The major cause of that effect was that cold weather we had in Yankee Stadium where we was just talking about, you know?
Right.
And here's the thing. I don't know why these guys try to go out there and think they're impressing people by just going out there in just a jersey with short sleeves on. You know what I'm saying? You got to go out there and bundled up, you know?
Exactly.
Because that's how you cause injury when you're cold and freezing. Because they're cold and freezing. You know,
Right.
if I'm cold and I have all my winter gear on and I'm cold, I know they cold and they just
Yeah.
playing with just a regular t-shirt on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you're not gonna stay healthy that way. You gotta. I remember guys in the early 2000s or whatever. They used to almost damn near have a jacket on. But,
Right. Right. But I guess they just feel more comfortable that way, or they feel they're moving, or the adrenaline is flowing, and they feel a little bit warmer on the field. I mean, sometimes when they're out in the field, they could be standing there until a play comes to them. But they have to be ready at every second for a possible ball to be hit their way.
well, if you remember in the 2009 World Series at Yankee Stadium, right? They had hoodies on.
Oh yes, it was chilly in October
Remember, they had
against the Bills.
actual they had actual sweaters on with a hood. Some of
Right.
them. So yeah, man, that's how you have to play warm. And then sometimes, remember, some players they will wear that ski mask and everything, and all you see is their eyes.
Yes, yes, they just have the cutout. For
Yeah.
sometimes they have the nose and the eyes. That's about it. Otherwise, it's covering the head. And I've seen that a few times this year too. I've seen a few players do that. I think I saw Gleyber Torres do that back in April, and I've seen that happen a few times. But I do know what you're talking about. But maybe they just feel a little more comfortable. They have to be prepared for the baseball to be hit to them, and they just dress the way they feel comfortable.
Well,
And
I
also
think I think they're
the
trying to make.
dugouts are heated.
Yeah, well, yeah, the dugouts are heated, but I think they're trying to make a statement as saying like, "Oh, I'm a man." You know what I mean? Like
No,
Brett
they're
Brett Gardner does it all the time. He wears the short sleeves no matter if it's cold, but if it's really cold, he brings out the long sleeves. You know?
machismo. It's called machismo,
Yeah, it's
macho.
it's your it's like you're in the MLB the show,
Right.
and I get paid millions of dollars to do this, and this is how I'm gonna do it, type of thing. But I think you have to
Exactly.
wear warm clothes though, you know.
Yes, yes. Well, I guess to each his own, and I guess we can't force them. So they're going to dress the way they want to dress. But I do know what you're saying. And when I come to Yankee Stadium in the early part of the season, I make sure I'm dressed warmly as well, and you do too.
Especially the pitchers.
Right.
You got this guy coming in there with a short sleeve on, and you see it, and he's like, "Oh man, this guy's gonna get blown out."
Yes,
Because the
yes.
longer he stays out there, the more he gonna get cold, and it's cold out there. You know, it's freezing out there. But I don't know, well, remember, we haven't done an analysis, and I'm thinking about buying one of those wind meters. You know,
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
seen them. I seen them in Walmart. I was checking them out. They're in Walmart for like $12, right?
Aha.
And the thing is, we don't know the weather conditions on the mound. You see,
Right,
because we can never get to the mound. You know,
right.
but it's the wind and weather is different around the stadium. It could be windy on one side and not windy on the other side.
Yes.
So it depends on how it plays out. But if you got a guy coming out there with short sleeves on, man, he has a problem.
Yeah. Well, also the pitcher's constantly moving though, so they generate heat. The pitcher is constantly moving, throwing the baseballs. So when he's out there, he's generating natural heat by constantly pitching and throwing all of those pitches. And then he goes in the dugout, and it's warm in the dugout, and the pitcher puts the jacket on, and then takes it off. Because they generate a lot of heat as they're pitching off the mound.
No, it's true, but it still doesn't defy that coldness, you know,
Yeah.
that coldness that comes over your skin. You know what I mean? And the coldness that that gets on your jersey, you know? They feel
Yeah,
that wind.
you get sweated up and then you chill down and you get sweated up again and you chill down.
Yeah, that's a problem too. You know, you get sweaty and then you start feeling it in your hat and everything because your head starts sweating and now it's cold and now you're freezing now because your head is cold. You know,
I
so
I've seen Sabathia have to change his hat. Sabathia really sweats when he's out there, especially in the summer, and the hat will be dripping with sweat.
I heard
And
he
he
changes
actually
it
had,
like 4 or 5 times,
yeah, my goodness,
or
yeah,
or, or it goes like one an inning or something like that.
right, amazing. And I have a little bit of other important injury news concerning John Carlos Stanton now. And I'll do a little bit of this reading from Brian Hoke about the John Carlo Stanton situation with his shoulder and what's happening with him. And it says nearly 3 weeks after John Carlos Stanton received a cortisone injection to treat his left shoulder, having been evaluated by a California-based specialist, the Yankees announced that the slugger is attempting to rehab a left shoulder strain. Manager Aaron Boone initially claimed on Tuesday that he did not know what the diagnosis was for Stanton's lingering injury, at one point saying he doesn't have a perfect shoulder by any means. He's dealt with varying degrees of a dead period or some soreness in there and whatnot. Immediately following Tuesday's rainout against the Orioles, a Yankee spokesperson clarified that Stanton's injury is a left shoulder strain. Stanton was initially placed on the injured list with a left bicep sprain, sustained on March 31st. According to the Yanks, that injury has healed. I'm playing catch-up from the bicep injury, so I took a little step back, Stanton said on May 6th. The diagnosis was just give it some extra time. Biceps blowing out, the whole arm had to get strained to build with each other. Just give it more time. So as of right now, Stanton is still maybe attempting to do a rehab, but as of right now, he is still out. It says that Stanton is at the Yankees Player Development Complex in Tampa, Florida, where Boone said that he is continuing to hit off live pitching and perform defensive drills despite the shoulder issue. I think it's been something that's been a minor nagging thing with him, Boone said. I think part of it with being down with the biceps, trying to attack that as well, because he's just dealing with some fatigue stuff and being a little dead. The 29-year-old Stanton played in each of the Yankees' first 3 games this season, going 2 for 8, 250 batting average, 7 walks and 4 strikeouts. He batted .266 with 38 home runs and 100 runs batted in 158 games last year, his first in New York. So he is down in Florida trying to rehab his shoulder. So apparently there still is no timetable with him.
Man, that sucks, man. I don't know when we got to get him back sooner or later, man. But I wanna touch on the story real quick. I don't know if you heard this. It's breaking news right now. With the Dodgers pitcher. Did you hear about the Dodgers pitcher, Julio Urias?
No, what happened?
Well, Dodger pitcher Julio Urias. Hopefully, I'm saying it right, cause I'm bad with names.
That's correct.
He was arrested Monday night on suspicion of misdemeanor domestic battery after witness told Los Angeles police they saw him push a woman to the ground. Surveillance footage supported the allegation, according to sources familiar with the investigation. Also, a Urias arrest came after officers with the Los Angeles Los Angeles Police Department. I can't even say Los Angeles. There must be like something wrong with them. Must be the Dodgers.
Right.
Responded to reports of domestic violence incident in the parking lot of the Beverly Center at 85,000 Beverly Boulevard. Witnesses told police they saw a man later identified as Urias shove a woman who then fell over. So, um, I don't know, but he was arrested and he was later released on $20,000 bond.
Wow, wow, that is a rough situation there, and it's always sad to hear an incident like that taking place.
Yeah, he eventually gonna get fired, man. That's the
Yes,
problem.
my goodness.
You know, so you got to remember, baseball is a job.
Right.
You know, you're not. I mean, yeah, you playing a baseball game, but you got to understand you're employed. You know what I mean? You're getting
Yes.
paid to play, and it's like you working as a laundromat worker. You know, you have to go to the laundromat and work. You know, and but they have to go to the baseball field to work. You know, so
I see.
yeah, whatever they did there. I remember. You remember another story? I think it was his name. He was from Detroit Tigers. Um, he got into a fight here in New York. And he got charged with assault. And after a few seasons, after 2 seasons, you didn't see him again. You
Hmm.
know? Yeah,
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. I
I forget his
remember
name right
John
now.
John Rocker having a problem when during the World Series. John Rocker was saying some very nasty, bigoted things about New Yorkers and New York City subway system and everything. And he was getting booed like crazy at Yankee Stadium when the Braves came in.
Well, this guy, I forget his name right now, man. I'm sorry that I'm bad with names. Um, he was playing with Detroit Tigers maybe about I say, wow, maybe about 2012 around there, or 15 or 14 around there. Anyway, one of those years, he was at a bar after the Yankee game. After he played, he went
Hmm.
to a bar, and some fans noticed him and started heckling him. You know,
Oh,
and the guy pushed him, and he punched one of the guys, and he
oh,
got arrested
wow,
for that. Yeah. After that, you didn't see
wow.
him no more. Maybe this guy too. Oh, and you remember what was his name? The pitcher from the Mets. I think his name was Familia.
Oh yeah, he's still there now. He's back with the Mets. He's a relief pitcher,
He got
Maurice
into a
Familia.
domestic violence thing too. Even Aroldis Chapman too. He beat up his wife or something like that and got into a thing. But but I think his charges were dropped though.
He fired off a gun in the garage too. I don't know all the details of it, so I can't make any comments one way or the
Yeah,
other.
but he's
But he
in
had
all
some
kind of stuff, you know. So
right.
there's a bunch of players, you know, and then at one time, a lot of Dominican players were going down every year in the wintertime and having a good time, and then one be end up dying down there. It was like every
Yes,
year there was a player dying in Dominican Republic.
I know. And as we know, Tyro Estrada, who is from Venezuela, and he's a good young Yankee prospect that's done a good job since being called up. He got shot during a robbery the year before last,
Oh,
and
that's
he had
right.
he had the bullet in his leg for quite a long period of time until they finally took it out, and he's healed and recovered at that point.
Man, that's crazy, man. There's a lot of things that go on with players, man, you know, but hopefully it doesn't affect the Dodgers run to a playoff.
Right, exactly. And as I said, I like following Dodgers Randy. I'll give her a plug. She does some nice blogs the way BX Bomber does, only for the Dodgers. And you can find her on YouTube as well, Dodgers Randy. And she is a super fan that does nice vlogs and shows the Dodger games. And she is the West Coast BX Bomber, basically, and I
Yeah.
enjoy her blogs just like I enjoy the X Bombers as well. And hopefully she will be okay with what happened with this Dodgers pitcher.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see her thoughts on it, right? From being a Dodger fan, right?
Right, exactly. Exactly. And so otherwise, what is happening for tomorrow is J-Hap, who was slated to start Tuesday's postponed game, will get bumped to the first game of Wednesday's doubleheader tomorrow. And Domingo Herman will start the second game. So those are the pitching matchups for the Yankees tomorrow. They will have J-Hap starting the first game and Domingo Herman starting the second game.
It sounds good, man. Maybe we can get a double win there.
Yes, let's hope so. Let's hope so. You must be going through Yankee Stadium withdrawal 2 days in a row of not being able to go there, and even after having the Yankees away in Tampa Bay, you must be going through Yankee Stadium withdrawal.
Yeah. Well, I was there yesterday, and I got great footage of them fixing up the field and stuff like that. And I'm gonna make a vlog out of that soon, you know.
Excellent.
But yeah, man, it's kind of weird. You know, it's kind of
And
weird.
and one last thing, I know we've got. I guess we have what, about 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to say, I'll do this very fast. Susan Waldman, who is John Sterling's partner on the radio broadcast, claims Jordan Montgomery is hitting upper 90s with his fastball during Tommy John rehab. And I'll read just a small amount of this. New York Yankees left-handed pitcher Jordan Montgomery underwent Tommy John surgery last June. And after a positive update on his rehab, the hope is that he'll return to the Bronx sometime this summer. The Yankees obviously don't want to rush him back, but according to Yankees radio broadcaster Susan Waldman, Montgomery is hitting the upper 90s with his fastball during his rehab program, making things next level intriguing. And that is pretty interesting. And she put down, I know that pitching can come back with pitchers and come back with better stuff after having Tommy John surgery. But has any pitcher gained this much velocity in their fastball? I mean, Montgomery was your typical crafty southpaw whose fastball sat in the low 90s. And and if Montgomery's fastball is sitting in the mid 90s, which he wasn't previously, he may end up being the number 2 starter instead of the back of the rotation pitcher. You had a vaunted fastball to go along with a legit breaking ball, and the Yankees might have a potential frontline starter on their hands that they didn't expect. So that's pretty interesting. It'll be very interesting to see Montgomery come back.
You know, he would definitely help though, but and he was strong last year too, remember?
Yes, until he got injured very early in the season, and he had Tommy John last June.
Yeah, that's right, man. I don't know. Will he be? Would it? I mean, it'd be worth taking a shot with him. I mean,
Yes,
you know,
as Susan Waldman said, his fastball is now in the upper 90s.
wow. So he's gonna have to work on different pitchers on getting guys out. You know.
Right, exactly. So that's what Susan Waldman's report is. So we'll see how that all goes there.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's gonna have to work on change ups and you know, sliding pitches and all kind of stuff like that as well.
Oh, yes, yes. He'll have to work on that again. That's what he was. He was a crafty lefty that only hit about 90, 91 miles per hour with his fastball and then threw a lot of breaking pitches. So if he has them to go along with a power fastball, as I just read, he could be, up there as a number 2 or number 3 starter instead of the back end rotation.
Wow, that's pretty true, man. But you know, right now we're gonna end it here on the radio show with television, but stay live on YouTube. So I want everybody to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see everybody on the next one. But stay tuned and on YouTube. But yeah, they're gonna have to work on a lot of stuff with that guy, though.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. And so that's where he stands right now. And so let's hope that the Yankees can have a good homestand at this point in time. What is going to be happening is I'm going to have to check in with my sister very shortly, so we may have to end the live YouTube broadcast as well, unless you want to go on without me for a while, because my sister will be checking in with me, and I have to help her take care of some things.
Yeah, we can
And
stay on for a little bit longer and then break it up.
okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
But the
But
Yankees, that kid, I don't know if it's too soon to bring him up though.
yeah, he's doing his rehab now, and that is the latest report on Jordan Montgomery.
I would
And
say bring him up next year, fresh. You know,
yeah,
spring training, then you start him off.
right, right.
That's how
It's
the
hard
way
to,
I do it. I think to bring him back now is too soon.
yeah, we'll have to see what their plans are for him. We'll have to see
You
what their
know,
plans are for him. And I also have 3 prospects Yankee fans can expect to see in the MLB this year. So that looks like a interesting situation. Let's take a look at that and see what we have going on here.
well, that one guy from Toronto, what's his name? Fernando Tatis Jr.
Right?
Oh man, I can't wait to see him in Yankee Stadium. See if he can
Well,
hit a home run.
here are 3 prospects Yankee fans can expect to see in the MLB this year. Number 3 is Ben Ruta, Ruta. He's an outfielder, and it basically says he may not be on a lot of top 30 prospects lists, but Yankee fans know who this guy is and can't wait for him to play in the Bronx. Outfielder Ben Ruta has been killing it at Double A, slashing .342, .467, and .566 with 16 extra base hits and 19 runs batted in through 31 games. With the frequency of outfield injuries in New York, Ruta could get the call before September. Number 2 is Domingo Acevedo, who you were just mentioning. And the right-hander, Domingo Acevedo, was once a heralded prospect in the Yankees pipeline, but he missed some time in 2018 with blister problems, and his triple-digit fastball lost some velocity. However, this season at Double-A, Acevedo has been effective, posting a 5-1 record with a 3.38 earned run average and 21 strikeouts over 18 and 2/3 innings in 10 appearances. The days of Acevedo being a starter are likely over, but he could be a weapon out of the bullpen. And number 1 is Albert Abreu, a right-hand pitcher. And it says the jury is still out on whether Albert Abreu can be a frontline starter or a highly productive reliever. But there's a good chance the Yankees find that out on the big stage of Major League Baseball later this summer. New York acquired Abreu from Houston in the Brian McCann trade, and he's shown flashes of being a top of the rotation starter with his upper 90s fastball and power breaking stuff. But command has always been a problem. Contending teams always need pitching depth, and if they suffer any more injuries in that department, I'd expect Abreu to be one of the first they call upon. So those are 3 possible prospects that the Yankees may be seeing this year. We'll see how it goes.
This just reminded me of an article I was reading today about Bumgarner, and the Giants are looking to get rid of Bumgarner, and the Yankees are very interested in Bumgarner.
Yes, they were talking about that.
I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, and also they're very interested in Keichel.
Yes, So the Keuchel thing, from what I understand, the Yankees are waiting until after the June 2nd player draft, and after June 2nd takes place, they will try to acquire him possibly.
They have to wait till the draft because the reason is, which I read today, is the reason is that they waived their regular salary.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't. So basically, they waived their waivers, right? And they didn't accept any contract. So now to get signed by a team, they have to be signed after the draft.
I see.
That's just the way the rule is. I didn't know that. That's why they can't get. That's why they're not playing right now. They have to get signed before, whatever that deadline is. There's a deadline
Right.
to sign players, and it didn't happen because they waived their I forget the name for it now, but it's they waived their regular season wager. They
Right.
waived it. They waived it. They didn't want that. They wanted more money, right? So
Hmm.
now they have to wait for after the draft because a team doesn't have to give up their draft pick.
I see.
So if a
I
team
see.
was to pick them up right now, they would have to give up a draft pick, and the team doesn't want to do that right now. So they're gonna have to wait till the ending of that draft.
Right, but they seem to be highly interested in Keiko, but they just want to wait until that situation clears.
Well, I'd rather get Bumgarner, but
Hmm.
but is Bumgarner worthy of being a Yankee? That's the question.
Well, remember the Yankees hit Bumgarner pretty good when they played the Giants. He's not. He's still a decent pitcher, but he's not. He's not the amazing pitcher that he was a few years ago.
Right, but we don't know how good Keichel is.
Right. Exactly.
Right now, you're
Exactly.
only purchasing a name. You know,
Right.
where we're telling you, look, Roger, right now I have a Ferrari right here. You know what I mean? It looks like
Yes.
a Ferrari, it drives like a Ferrari, but once you get in it, I don't know. You know what I mean? And then
Yes. I
and then
have a Ferrari with a cracked engine block.
you know what I'm saying? And then what? And now you
Exactly.
paid all this money for Keichel, and he's a dud. You know,
Right.
but I don't really want that to be the case. I want him to. I really think that he's gonna go to a team that's gonna win the World Series.
Yes, I believe so. But the X Bomber, anyway, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to end it for myself here because I have to check in with my family member. But I will check in with you again later, okay?
All right, man. We'll end it here. Everybody that's listening, go over to BX Bomber 2011 on all social media, and we'll see y'all later.
Take
Television.com.
care.
Bye bye.